I actually remember one of our professors, and this was classes of theoretical computer science. We always used to talk of possibility, feasibility, and optimality. So I think what we saw in 2022 was a possibility that there is something called large language models that can do a lot more than what the world has seen.
Mhm.
Honestly, when I first tried GPT, I think it had come on 1st of November 22, if I remember correctly, and I tried a day later or so. I could not believe that we have all worked extensively on NLP, right? And we all know how fragile a lot of these systems are.
Mhm.
But the way you can rephrase those statements and still its ability to answer, I won't necessarily use the word understand, but it gives that impression very well, right?
Mhm.
So we have a possibility. I think where we see today is how do we bake some of them into products, and which is where this whole line of SLMs, which are very narrow, specific models that can do specific jobs, which is more into the feasibility side of things. We know
Mhm.
it can, but now it can be done with fewer resources. I think
Yeah.
what you're talking about is the optimality side of things, right? What is the smallest data set, or the smallest model that I can create, which in terms of its capabilities is equivalent to something else that is already out there and done.
Yeah.
Something.
Right. And it's also gonna be, surely we talked about compute and we talked about environmental effects, but it's also gonna be like a necessity from product point of view, because with like new iOS, right? Like, with this Apple Intelligence, you're gonna have this technology in your phones, right? So ultimately, that's where you want to, like to go, like, so the companies like Apple are gonna be investing into this, right? So I that even before we exhaust compute, or like or start thinking about environment very seriously, there is going to be a product requirement saying, okay, we have it, we are running it today. You are building a product and maybe you're calling OpenAI under the hood. Sure, you can do it. Okay, and OpenAI is also getting cheaper, but obviously it's the compute is expensive. So if you are running it, you need GPUs. So OpenAI is incurring huge cost. At some point you'll have to start thinking that how can we, if you have large scale, like if 100 people are using it, maybe my costs are minimal, but if 200 billion people are using it, or sorry, like 200 million people are using it, then you start worrying about this, right? So that will really bring out innovation. Okay, like
Correct.
really be much smaller model that operates on, like, on the edge, and that can really, it's as we get used to this, we are gonna demand this technology in, like, so it's I do think that, we talked about research as the kind of, at times research being the driving force, and they and then product kind of catches up, but I think there's going to be product requirements, and then research will